Welcome everybody, thank you for joining me. We're going to get started sitting on our mats in a cross-legged position, hands to heart center, taking a few good breaths. And on an inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up, hands touching at the top. Exhale brings you down to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come down. Hands to the knees, start to make some nice big circles in one direction, working to get the shoulder to the opposite knee. Warming up the spine in this movement. And opposite direction. Inhale brings you up. Seated cat-cows. On an inhale, chest comes forward, shoulder blades squeeze, and exhale, rounding the spine as much as you can, bringing the chin to the chest. Moving at your own pace here. On an inhale, you come forward. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale brings you back to center, sitting nice and tall. Place the right hand outside the right hip onto the mat. Left arm reaches up and over. If you want to go a little deeper in this pose, you can walk the right hand out, maybe drop down to the forearm. Getting a stretch in the left side body. Good. Inhale brings you up. Other side, left hand outside the left hip. Going as deep as you like, dropping to the forearm, right arm up and over. Inhale brings you up. Bring the hands to the shoulders, and on an inhale, you're going to turn to the right. Exhale, turn to the left. So close your eyes so you don't get dizzy. We're gonna move at your pace here. Inhale brings you to the right. Exhale moves you over to the left. This is twisting the spine. We're trying to warm it up in all different directions, flexion and extension, as well as twisting side to side, which brings us to our next pose. Start to bring that right elbow down, left elbow reaches high, and tick-tock to the other side, kind of like a teeter-totter. Back and forth. Good, now make your way to tabletop, hands and knees. Start to do some regular cat-cows here. On an inhale, belly drops, gaze comes up. Exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the chin to the chest. On an inhale, belly drops, looking up. Exhale, pulling that navel toward the spine, rounding it as much as you can, and bringing the chin to the chest. Doing what feels good here. If you want to add in a few hip circles, feel free to do that. Coming back to neutral, inhale, lift the right hand high. Exhale, thread the needle, coming all the way onto that right shoulder. Side of the head comes down to the mat. Opposite arm can go out in front of you or wrap behind the low back. Breathing here. And then bringing that left hand back to neutral. Inhale, lift the right hand high. Exhale, place it down, tabletop. Other side, inhale, lift the left hand high. Exhale, bring it behind the right hand, coming all the way onto the left shoulder. Side of the head meets the mat. Breathing here, thread the needle. Maybe moving that opposite arm out in front or wrapping it behind the low back. Inhale, lift the left hand high. Exhale, place it down, tabletop. Let's tuck the toes. Start to send the hips back over the heels. You can keep your hands on the mat or lift them up off the mat onto the thighs. This is toe stretch, and this can be very intense, especially if you're on your feet a lot or if you wear high heels a lot. Maybe circle out the wrists. Good. Bring the hands to the mat, tap the tops of the feet out, and let's bring the right foot in between the hands. Inhale, crescent B, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to the knee, start to lean forward. What we're doing here is stretching that left hip flexor, an area that is pretty much crunched all day, whether we're driving or working, sitting at a desk. Exhale, place the hands to the mat, bring the hips back, half splits, straightening the front leg, toes come up towards you, trying to get your nose a little bit closer to the knee, a little bit closer to the shin. Good, put a bend in the right knee and then start to bend the back knee. If you can reach around for the foot, do that with the right hand. So we're reaching around, pulling the foot in toward the sit bone, looking over our right shoulder, keeping the chest lifted, quad stretch. Good, release, bringing both hands inside the right foot, lizard pose, untucking the back toes, staying up on the palms, maybe dropping down to the forearms. We're keeping that right knee pulled in toward the body, toward the midline. Breathe. Breathing through any tightness. And coming back to the palms, pressing back to tabletop. Bring the left foot in between the hands on an inhale. Lift those biceps up by the ears. Exhale, hands to the knee, starting to stretch the right hip flexor. Exhale, hands to the mat, hips go back, half splits, that front leg straightens. And the toes come up. Again, trying to get a little deeper here, hamstring stretch. Put a bend in the left knee, start to bend that back knee. Reach around with the left hand for the foot, pull the heel toward the sit bone, quad stretch here. Good, release the foot. Bring both hands inside the left foot, lizard pose. Staying on the palms or dropping down to the forearms. Pulling that knee in toward the midline. Pressing back into the palms, moving back to tabletop, hands and knees, and then making your way all the way down onto your bellies on the mat, keeping the hands just underneath the shoulders, and on an inhale, we're gonna lift the chest, baby cobra. Feeling the back muscles activate. Exhale, coming all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra, lifting the chest, maybe lifting the hands up off the mat. Breathing. Exhale, good. Coming all the way down. On your next inhale, coming into full cobra, so we're straightening the arms, just a micro bend in the elbows, shoulders rolling back and down the spine. And exhale, pushing back into child's pose, toes together, knees wide, forehead to the mat, arms out in front of you. And on an inhale, shifting the weight forward, moving back into cobra. Exhale, pulling you back into child's pose. Doing this one more time. Inhale, coming into cobra. Exhale, going back to child's pose. And that wraps up our 10-minute activation yoga sequence. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.